All right, we've reached the top 10 in the PFF 101. You guys can go back and check out the rest of the rankings, but it's time to reveal the top 10 players in the NFL during the 2018 season, regardless of position. Remember, all positions pretty much created equally. We're not focused just on quarterbacks and just value. So let's get into it, Mike. Our top 10 players from 2018, starting with number 10, it's Khalil Mack, formerly of the Oakland Raiders, gets traded to the Chicago Bears. The production took the slightest of hits this year, but you could probably chalk that up to a midseason injury that slowed him down. Only had a handful of pressures, but when he was healthy, was outstanding again. 90.3 regular season grade, 90.7 overall, 73 pressures including the playoffs. He had 68 during the regular season, that tied for 5th. And top 10 as a run defender, top 10 as a pass rusher in the PFF grading. Khalil Mack, the usual great all-around performance.
Yeah, I was going to say he's got a spot reserved here in the top 10. On to number 9, where we have Patriots cornerback Stephon Gilmore, snubbed for the Super Bowl MVP, but he was balling out all season long. Regular season, including the playoffs, 48 of 109 targets on the season, 44% catch rate, 4 interceptions, a ridiculous 20 pass breakups total. He was just a stud there, an all-pro cornerback, number 9 on this list.
And they played more man coverage than any team in the league, so they put him, on an island quite a bit. Coming in at number 8, the best linebacker in the league this year is Bobby Wagner, a 91.9 regular season grade, 91.8 when including the playoffs. Number 1 coverage grade in the NFL. Number 2 is a run defender. You don't get much better than that as far as all-around play. The best Bobby Wagner stat, though, of course, 1 missed tackle the entire season. That is absolutely incredible for a linebacker. Only had 3 in 2017, so he's the best tackler in the NFL. Also, he had 7 pass breakups in coverage. Bobby Wagner took the crown from Luke Kuechly this year.
Future Hall of Famer here, Bobby?
Yeah, he might be, though, if he keeps this up.
Yeah.
Look at
All
you.
right, on to number 7, where it's definitely a future Hall of Famer here. Tom Brady.
Hey, Tom.
Did not quite have the elite grades we've seen from him in the past few years, but still 90.6 overall. And everyone wants to talk about how he checks the ball down. He had a higher percentage of his yards come through the air than Patrick Mahomes, higher percentage than Ben Roethlisberger. He is not just a check down artist.
Yeah, he slowed down a little bit this year, but still good enough.
Still good,
yeah, still pretty good. Number 7 on the list. Coming in at number 6, we've got Michael Thomas from the New Orleans Saints. I mean, this was one of the more spectacular wide receiver seasons we've ever seen. He caught 86% of his targets, Mike. My favorite stat, he had 125 catches. That was 10 more than any other receiver in the NFL, but he only ranked 7th in targets. So the efficiency was just off the charts. 91.3 receiving grade was 2nd, and he was 3rd in the NFL with 75 first downs and touchdowns. Michael Thomas was Drew Brees' go-to guy.
Yeah, he must probably going to be even better after that blown call and his reaction to it there. But on to number 5 here, we have Fletcher Cox, Eagles defensive tackle. If Aaron Donald didn't exist, who we'll probably get to it a little later on this list, we'd be talking about Fletcher Cox in the way we talk about Aaron Donald. He is that dominant. Had 21 more pressures than any other defensive tackle, not named Aaron Donald. 95 pressures on the season, 24 hits. That led the NFL among all players, defensive linemen, linebackers, edge rushers, whatever. He led the NFL in hits. Fletcher Cox, one of the most disruptive players in all of the NFL.
Yeah, interior players are not supposed to outproduce edge defenders, but they are, a couple of these guys. All right, number 4, it is Drew Brees. It's Michael Thomas's quarterback. Brees, I thought he could have been higher on this list, but he had a couple, inconsistent games down the stretch. Still ended up with a 94.7 regular season grade. Didn't add as much value as, say, Patrick Mahomes from a quarterback's perspective, but he was the most accurate quarterback in the league. He set a PFF record for adjusting completion percentage. He had the 2nd lowest percentage of turnover-worthy plays, and in our ball location charting, pass for pass, the most accurate quarterback in the league by a pretty healthy margin. So Drew Brees, best season of his career.
Pretty crazy at his age. On to number 3, though, another quarterback, our MVP, Patrick Mahomes. The stats, you can go on and on and on, but he led the NFL this year in big-time throws with 48. That was 5 more than any other quarterback in the NFL. 8th most yards in a single season all-time among quarterbacks. 2nd most touchdowns in a single season all-time among quarterbacks. Oh yeah, just his first year as a starting quarterback in the NFL. Not a bad intro.
Yeah, man, Mahomes was great. Combination of that scheme and his playmaking ability. All right, we're to the final 2. Number 2 is DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver from the Houston Texans. Just like Michael Thomas had one of the incredible receiver seasons of all time, Hopkins, this one's going to go down in history as well because he didn't drop a pass. And we have never seen a guy dating back to 2006 not drop a pass with this many catchable opportunities. He had 115 catches without any drops, and they weren't all easy catches. He could snatch them out of the air, one-handed grabs. So 11 touchdowns, over 1,500 yards, 118.8 passer rating when targeting him, and he led the NFL with 81 first downs plus touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins, outstanding season, and the best hands in the NFL.
Yeah, 0 drops, led the NFL in contested catches, too.
That's tough
Pretty
to do,
ridiculous combo.
Who's number 1?
Number 1, you guys know who it is, Aaron Donald. We talk too much about him as it is, but my favorite stat that just shows how dominant he is compared to the rest of the defensive tackles in the NFL. If you go back and watch the video of 11 through 20, Akeem Hicks, Grady Jarrett, 2 defensive tackles made it in that group. Aaron Donald had twice as many pressures as both of them. Twice as good, twice as productive as a pass rusher as elite defensive tackles in the NFL. That's how far and away Aaron Donald is better than the rest of the NFL at what he does.
Can I add one for you too?
Yes.
On plays in which he had some sort of help against him, some sort of double team help, he would have ranked 3rd if you just stacked that up against guys when they try to win against single teams. So he's beating multiple blockers on plays at the same rate that the best players win against single blockers. It really is crazy. Aaron Donald, the best player in the NFL per the PFF 101. So there you have it. It's the best players in the NFL for the 2018 NFL season. Of course, always let us know in the comments where we got them all right, or maybe if you guys think we got them wrong, and get to profootballfocus.com for the full write-up on the entire PFF 101.